Okay, good.
All right.
Recording started. All right. let's let's Oh my god, my brain is just
Skews.
not here today, so good luck with me.
That's okay.
Okay.
You know I love you, so it's fine. All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Millennial Cast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Christina, and today you're gonna bear with us because my brain's not working. So Sarah's gonna lead us through the wonderful journey that is sound baths and spiritual wellness and getting into all that fun, eccentric stuff that can make your brain and your body connect more as one.
Yeah, so it's super rad. I've actually been diving a little bit more into my spirituality the last little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking today spirituality, not religion. So there is a complete difference there, and it's very important that we specify
Mm-hmm.
um, that you don't have to have one to have the other, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been deep diving into my spirituality. I have been going to some like guided spiritual meditations, like chakra clearing, Reiki healing sessions, like all these cool things. And I'm really kind of getting grounded in this journey of like alternative wellness.
Mm.
And I freaking love it. I'm feeling so much more grounded and like ready to face my days, especially when I've got like I do a sound bath in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the next day I'm just like totally blissed out and just like good to go.
That's really good. So I've noticed that you don't tend to just go on YouTube or something and find a sound bath. You have actually been going to online classes. So have you done both, and what's your experience there?
So I've done both, and the thing that I like about the classes, and I use that kind of loosely because they're not really teaching anything, but
But
you
it's
know,
live, and you actually
but
get
it's
that
live.
energy from a real person.
Yeah, so like you get the energy from a real person, and like the meditation that I did today, she actually did an oracle pull for each of us. Like she did an oracle card pull,
Mm-hmm.
and there was only 3 of us on the call, but she like just took a moment to be like, "Hey, this is what's coming up, and maybe like this is what you should focus on in this like chakra clearing that I did today." Um, and then like the sound baths, I've really found that having that in person kind of feel makes a huge difference.
Mm.
When there's a little bit of talk beforehand, kind of a discussion of like what the goal is with that particular sound bath. Like the one that I did last week was a crystal alchemy sound bath. So it was like with the bowls, and he really like zoned in on like the heart and throat chakras,
Mm.
um to try and like get them communicating better. And so it just really like lets you dial in to those specific things, whereas like the YouTube ones are great in a pinch, but I've really found like there's that disconnect because you don't have that um in-person kind of, I guess, vibration
Mm.
that you
Yep.
get, and energy that you get from having a real person.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you do group meditations or anything like that too. That's
Hmm.
why I really enjoyed going to the spiritualist church, which is technically a religion, but it's based around spirituality and talking to dead people and stuff.
Hmm.
So that's why I loved it there so much, because you just walk in and you get an overall palpable feeling of spirituality. I can't explain
Hmm.
it, but I feel like when you're in a group or a room, even just being at church or something like that, if everybody is thinking about the same thing, just kind of in general on the same level, then
Hmm.
that's what level you're going to be on, even if you don't necessarily mean to be at first. It just kind of
Hmm.
affects you, right?
Yeah. And one of the things that I'm really learning about is like that how the different vibrations affect you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to doing when COVID is done is, or we have like vaccines for it,
Mm.
is being able to go and do an in-person sound bath where you can actually feel the energy coming from the vibration coming from the bowls, and like
Yes.
just be in person and like enveloped in that experience. You know what I mean? Like I'm so looking forward to that
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it just like adds that next level.
I've never seen anything like that taking place where I live here in Calgary, but I know that Vancouver's a lot more spiritual out there. But at the same
Hmm.
time, I mean, I've just never heard of it, right? It's not that it doesn't exist. So,
Yeah. And when I found Zenden, which is where I've been going for these meditations and stuff,
mm-hmm.
um, I literally just like Googled Sound Baths Vancouver,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and they popped up. But they were recommended from a couple of like wellness lists.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, my money is like going somewhere that's legit.
And it's nice to support a real person who has
Hmm.
put so much effort into learning this stuff and just knows about it and can kind of walk you through it as opposed to, just some fitness class at a group gym or whatever you're going to do instead, right?
Yeah. Well, and like I definitely feel that group fitness and things like that can be a spiritual experience,
Mm-hmm.
just in a different way. Like last episode we talked to Emily, and one of the things that I really liked about her classes is she kind of incorporated a little bit of like spirituality as far as like lifting your soul up and really like searching for inner guidance and following your intuition and doing all of those things
Hmm.
within the class itself. And I just like being in a room with 20 other people where you are all working towards the same goal, and the energy is just like it's just this palpable feeling of a collective
Mm-hmm.
that just you don't get in a lot of other places.
Yeah. But then again, she is pretty unique, like
Yeah.
I can imagine being in her class and having it be amazing. Whereas if I'm not, knocking group fitness by any means. I just mean in general, if you're doing Taibo or something, it's not
Hmm.
necessarily going to be a connect within yourself type time.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you have a teacher who is actually very spiritually oriented, I think that can bleed over into anything that they're doing.
Hmm.
Literally any craft that they're teaching you. I think that's so awesome, especially now that you found the sound bath thing. Why do
Yeah.
you think it speaks to you as much as it does?
I think that like I started it just as kind of a well, I'll try it and see what's up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's allowed me to kind of dial into the moment and really be present
Mm.
in like my meditation and things like that. Like I have really enjoyed um just zeroing in on those vibrations and allowing them to wash over me and really like feeling it, not just listening but like feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This sounds really like weird, but
Well, no, that's what they're actually designed to do. They're literally designed to have a vibration that you can feel, right? So
mhm,
it makes sense. And it's like when you do the regular Om chant,
mhm,
Om, you can feel that vibrating in your throat.
mhm,
So the thing is, sound has a lot of effect on where we place our focus and thus where we're putting our energy, and wherever you're focusing on is usually what you're going to end up putting a lot of your energy into, right?
mhm,
So if it's something that literally vibrates your soul, which it can, it gets
mhm.
in there and you can really feel it doing something, then it's just awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would actually recommend doing some Om chants. Years ago, when I just started doing all this stuff, I was like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know. So I looked online and I started Om chanting because it's, one of the first things you learn. And it's still one of the best things for me to do because it draws you to the here and now because you're literally vibrating through your throat, right? Through the actual
Yeah.
sounds that you're making, as opposed to just sitting there and trying to concentrate on something but losing focus and then reprimanding yourself because you can't keep focus and all that stuff. So I think having sound in meditation is pretty awesome.
Oh, sorry. Random phone call.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you doing?
Um, and one of the things that I've been experiencing lately is something that I know you practice, Christina, which is Reiki. How do you find that Reiki kind of works for you, or as kind of a practitioner of it? Like, how do you feel about it?
So I really do enjoy Reiki. And I think if you have any interest in it whatsoever, you should go and get it done on yourself. And you can have it done remotely. So you can have it done now during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But it does take a certain level of teacher to teach you that. So in the first level, you just learn in general how to do it on somebody who's right there in front of you. Second level, I believe you learn the distance healing. And then I don't remember what third level is or anything. I learned this over a year ago. But Reiki, in my opinion, is a very specific frequency. And it's not like other types of spiritual healing that I've learned because I have learned and I was a member of the Alberta Spiritual Healing Association. But so, okay, what I'm going to recommend to everybody right now is there's a woman, her name is Teal Swan. She's where I learned so much when I was just starting to learn about anything spiritual. And she has all of these cool videos on YouTube just explaining what your shadow self is or just whatever it is. But she makes these frequency paintings that I can't stop looking at all the time. I literally have this one open right now. It's called I Trust Myself to Create. So she creates these paintings that she downloads
Mm-hmm.
psychically, and you just stare at them, and they're supposed to help you tune into the frequency of whatever it is. So it's such a specific frequency, though, for each different one, and I can't explain it. You just have to do it for yourself. You have to just stare at this painting, whatever it is, on her website
Mm-hmm.
for a very long time, and then you'll feel it for yourself. Your entire body shifts into this one very specific gear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Reiki is to me. So it's super specific type of healing. It just kind of moves everything around is what it's supposed to do. So if you have anything blocked really, it's just kind of supposed to put the Reiki in there and sort of jumble it up
Mm-hmm.
and then let it go and do its thing instead of being crushed in there. But other types of spiritual healing in my experience tend to work a lot better because it's not restrictive to a very specific thing. You can really just access your own source, your own higher self, and whatever you think your own God consciousness is, you can just tap into that, right? And so it has such a profound amount of uses, but in my opinion, it's not as easy to do. So I would say if you're just thinking about it, take a Reiki class. What
Mm-hmm.
can it hurt? Because it's super easy. You don't have to feel anything. You don't have to understand what it is. My Reiki teacher said that one of the best practicing Reiki healers didn't feel anything, didn't know what he, couldn't feel anything at all through himself. But every single one of his students knew exactly where he was targeting. They said, "My God, I've never felt this good," all that kind of stuff. And he's like, "Okay, cool. Great." Whereas most people can actually feel it eventually. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just neat. I'd say for sure, if you've never done Reiki, go get it done. Take a Reiki class, become a certified Reiki practitioner. It's actually a lot easier than you think, and then you can just practice it all the time. It's just something I
Mm-hmm.
would really recommend.
For sure. And I definitely I have really enjoyed getting the Reiki healings through Zenden
Mm.
for the last week. It's been a really good experience and definitely feeling the difference in how I'm connecting. Like today's meditation was a chakra clearing and cord cutting meditation.
Those are so important.
Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
so much. It kind of like it was a really strange experience for me because at a certain point I like when we started the cord cutting, I was into it and like really like tuned in with my guides and all of that stuff, and I got this vision of a certain cord that they wanted me to cut, and like I had to push it away because I wasn't ready to experience those feelings again. And like one of the tricks that I've learned today about cord cutting is like you have to relive the experience and like allow yourself to feel those feelings again and
Yeah.
like to be able to fully put it to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like I wasn't ready for this particular cord, so I was like, no, something else, you know.
Yeah. So for everybody who's like, what the hell are you talking about right now? Cords are energetic cords or threads that can be intentionally or subconsciously put into you by either another person or just different entities or energies or things that you've put cords into yourself to connect to. Incredibly negative experiences tend to leave cords to attach
Mm-hmm.
to you, or negative people even, especially narcissists
Mm-hmm.
who need your energy basically. They will literally leave cords there so they can tap into you at any time. And again, they don't know they're doing this most of
Mm-hmm.
the time. They're just people, right? But that's when you need to sleep a lot and you feel like you're just brought down all the time. You don't know what the hell is happening. You're not sick. You just feel, if you feel it kind of like in your back is like 18 times more prone to this than any other type of your body. And it literally is a cord. So what happens is it like fish hooks inside of you and can't really be pulled out. So you have to cut it. And what I would recommend you doing is look up Ultraviolet Angel cord cutting on YouTube, and you'll get really easy explained meditation guides.
Mm-hmm.
So it's these ultraviolet angels that really help us cut those cords. So
Mm-hmm.
ultraviolet energy and light can actually dissolve them
Mm-hmm.
completely. But you do have to keep doing this continuously, because even if that cord is cut, it leaves a bit of an energetic pathway there. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
easy for that cord to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to seal up that space. And another way of sealing up the space is calling in void angels. And I know all this talk of like angels and stuff is, kind of strange. What does that even mean? Angels are just basically a word for these entities that come from different planes of existence, and basically everything that they do, all their entire vibration of being, is just this one amazing feeling. So,
Mm-hmm.
like ultraviolet angels, they're just to help us kind of dissolve these bad feelings. And then void angels, in my personal experience, I don't know almost anything about them besides what I've experienced, but they let let all the gloop be sucked from you. They don't let all of the shitty, weird feelings stay there. But
Mm-hmm.
you do have to protect yourself before actually doing them, so that's why a guided meditation is by far the
Mm-hmm.
best thing ever. God, I've been doing those so much. It's so fun that you are talking about them now.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you know, I'm coming from a place of just starting to learn about these things, which is like everything is new and exciting. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to like diving in deeper and like, you know, setting up crystals and doing things like that. Like for my
Mm-hmm.
guided meditations, I've started like lighting 3 candles and like setting
Oh,
those
that's
around my
nice.
living room and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just really trying to set my space up in the best energetic way possible.
Good for you. I like that.
Hmm. I like it too, and it's a completely different experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I did a meditation last week where I didn't really set up my space. I just kind of like set up my yoga mat and like laid down and was good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did like the candles and everything for a sound bath, and the difference was night and day.
Mm.
Like it was crazy how just like the ritual setting of your space made such a huge difference.
And do you think that's more of a ritual that you're getting into the mindset of it, or do you think it's more the actual physical thing there that's helping you?
I think it's a combination. I think the act of preparing and the act of getting ready for something really sets your mind into the world of what you are getting ready for.
Mm-hmm.
So, just like, setting, it's basically intention setting, where it's like, I intend to have this spiritual experience. I am going to set myself up for it. And, you know, this is the steps to follow. But also, like, I feel like and I don't know why, maybe you can shed some light on this, Christina, but I feel like having the candles and doing it by candlelight um really made a difference, having that physical energy in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing in the Wiccan religion is that when they're practicing their spells that are very sacred to them, they don't light their candles or their sage or anything with a synthetic lighter. So they if something is gas or whatever, they can't light it like that. You have to use a match or something, and it's a lot nicer to light it with something it doesn't even have any chemicals or anything on it. So for example, you light a match, you light a candle, and then you light all of your other candles with the candle, right? So just the more pure energy that you can get that's not tainted is
Mhm.
going to have so much more of an effect on you because it's more natural, and it has to do more with all of the energies that have been around on the earth and everywhere else for thousands of years.
Mhm.
Right? Electricity is so new and it's so synthetic and it vibrates at a way that is not really meant for our bodies.
Mhm.
So if you look up grounding, they tell you, doctors have done studies. They say that the more electricity type things that you have on when you're trying to go to sleep, the electromagnetic frequency actually affects your sleeping patterns because
Mhm.
it kind of just buzzes and keeps your mind awake, right?
Mhm.
That's why a lot of people think places are haunted because it has a really huge EMF reading. That's
Mhm.
electromagnetic frequency, but it's really just like a electric box or something that's kind of on the fritz. But the thing is, it can give you hallucinations. It can give you
Mhm.
feelings of dread, feelings of doom. It can make you physically nauseous. So electricity really does have a huge impact on us, and the more natural you can get, the more you're gonna honestly signal to all the spirits and your guides and all the energy around you that you're ready.
Mhm.
Right? It sounds crazy, but you're gonna be more attuned to everything that you need to be when there's just more natural stuff around, especially fire, because that's just such a huge energy in itself.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the connection to higher self that you kind of touched on earlier about um, for Reiki healing and things like that. Like, how do you think for someone who is just starting out on this journey, what would you say is the best way to start connecting with your higher self?
That's a really good question. So, the more that you do it, the more that you understand it. And that's as simple and as hard as it's going to get. So it just takes a lot of time and actual practice. Um, the thing is, when you're connecting to your higher self, it seems like it's so far away from you. And most of the time, it's almost impossible to actually get to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, it's right up here. You're really trying to connect it, but like your energy kind of keeps swooping each way, and that happened to me a ton. So you're like, I feel like it's like a tip of the tongue feeling. I feel like if I can just get right there, everything will be awesome and I can just do this perfectly, but you just can't figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it honestly just takes practice, and the more that you do it, the easier it gets. And for me, personally, and I'm sure what people will learn as they go by, source. So connecting to source, whatever is maybe it's like a God source or it's the source of all energy in the universe or anything like that. It actually is your higher self. So you are source.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing that you can just tell yourself, right? If you're like, okay, I'm going to totally believe that today and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to meditate and I'm just going to like reach everything. It's just, you can try, but I mean, it's just probably going to take time for you to feel it. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what you have to do is feel it, and you can't really just do it, which
Mm-hmm.
sort of sucks, but it's taken me years to actually get to this point where I literally tap into source constantly, constantly. Even when I'm just watching a movie or something, I will be trying my damnedest to tap into source, which is my higher self, which is pure love. And when I am actually looking at a frequency, like I was telling you guys, so this one is the frequency of I trust myself to create, but there's a million that I literally just have saved here to my camera roll, which I'll show you guys. It's like a lot. Um, but if you tap into source while you are looking at any one of these, it takes love and puts it in to the feeling that you're trying to get from whatever you're looking at, and it amplifies it and it puts it
Mm-hmm.
more into your personal power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. What were we even talking about? Oh yeah, source and stuff. Yeah. So if you're trying to just tap into your higher self, just do meditations for tapping into your higher self. That's the
Mm-hmm.
easiest and really the only way that you're going to be able to do it for a long time. It's not easy, and I just think of it as learning a language. You just have to keep doing it, and the more you do it, the more you'll feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to be clear, like, I've just kind of hit the point where, like, I can kind of feel my guide's presence when I'm meditating for a long period of time. Like, I
Awesome.
can't just, like, sit there and be like, oh, yeah, my guides are here.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't feel them right now. But I
Yeah.
would love to get to a point where I could just, like, sit still for a moment and tap into my guides and just, like, really have that conversation with them about, like, how to move forward and, like, what
Mm-hmm.
is going to be best, you know?
Well, and most people can't. And I can't even do that. And that's why tools like tarot cards are so awesome. Because if you trust your intuition and you use a tool, then it's just so much easier. And you can,
Mhm.
trust yourself to stop whenever you just feel like stopping when you're like cutting the deck or whatever and you pull it out and you're like, oh, cool, that's exactly what I feel like I was thinking would happen or whatever.
Mhm.
And then just go with that. The rule of thumb, if you get excited whenever you're pulling a tarot card or something, that's for sure when you know that that's exactly what you should be doing and the message that's supposed to be coming to you.
Yeah. And I've definitely been leaning into, like, the cards a lot more lately. I have a journal that is supposed to be here on Wednesday, and I'm very excited because I'm going to start journaling on the regular and just, you know, trying to cleanse my spiritual self in a way that I have not done in a really long time.
Yeah. Well, that's so cool. And I feel like the main issue when people start on a spiritual journey is thinking, man, I can't do it. Everyone else can do it so much easier or so much faster. Or like, what am I even supposed to do? Do I just journal? Do I meditate? Because that's not even working. And it doesn't matter. It truly
That
does
shit's
not
hard.
matter. Just do something. Just do whatever the hell you feel like doing. If you're just going to light a candle and stare at it for 30 seconds, cool, right? That's all
Yeah,
you have to do today.
it's
It's
a start.
literally a lifelong journey. Everything is okay and you're doing good. No matter what you're doing good.
Yeah. So I definitely, like, would recommend checking out, if you're in Vancouver or don't mind being distance, like, Zenden. Can't say nice enough things about them. Like, totally recommend. But also, like, just really take the time to explore yourself and, like,
Mm-hmm.
the things that you feel are important to you, because that will tell you what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And another thing, I guess, is that the first thing that comes to your mind is usually the correct one.
Mhm.
So if you're like, man, what am I going to do today to like feel spiritual or feel like I'm connecting to something? and you're just immediately like, maybe I'll just put my yoga mat out and then just like sit there and meditate. But then you think about it more and you're like, well, if I meditate, it doesn't really work, or, maybe looking at a candle or something will be better, whatever. Don't do the second thing. Don't logic it out. Basically, never use logic. Just throw logic out the window unless you're doing a logic puzzle.
Yeah.
Just listen to your heart, man. Listen to your intuition. Do the first thing that comes to you. And if you feel remotely excited, it's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing.
I have been reading The Power of Now.
Fuck yeah.
And it is changing my life.
Oh my god, Sarah. Good job.
It is changing my life. And
That's
it, like,
really good.
what you're saying about, like, really letting yourself, like, throwing logic out the window and just, like, letting yourself be and, like, follow the path that your intuition says resonates so hard right now. And I just wanted to tell you that.
Good. No, that's perfect. So Eckhart Tolle, the author of The Power of Now, has a YouTube channel, and he puts a lot of his informational things up on there. And usually it's when he sells out a room and he's just talking to a bunch of people, he'll put the little clips up onto that YouTube channel. So if you don't have access to Audible or can't get the book or whatever, it's amazing just to sit there and listen to him for 20 minutes, just speak. And what he'll do is he will take the longest silences I've ever heard, and he does narrate his own books on Audible. So he'll literally sit there for almost 10 seconds, and you will think that your phone has glitched, and then he'll start talking. And he says that that is a perfectly acceptable thing to do, and in fact you should, because the stillness is what you need. Mm-hmm. What he said that resonated with me recently was you just need to be in the moment and experience the moment such as it is. Experience the suchness of this moment. So a lot of the time what I've been telling myself lately is the suchness, because that doesn't have any other connection in my brain for me. So if I think of that word, it won't, make me just think of anything that will get in the way, because I mean, English is his second language. He's very good at English, but it just means sometimes he uses words that are just kind of funny and strange. So yeah, the suchness of the moment is something that I think about often, to just really not even be here, but it helps me pick up on the energy of everything that's happening. And then all of a sudden I feel like less tight and less just gross or weird or anything. It feels like my spirit is exhaling. So it's neat. I'm really happy that you're listening to that. Yeah. Or reading it, or I don't know what you're doing, but reading. That's good.
Yeah.
I just got another one of his. It's Stillness Speaks. That's what I'm usually reading if I have Audible on. That or Harry Potter too. I've just been re-listening to Harry Potter.
Little spirituality.
Yeah, why not? It's all magic.
Yeah. Well, I really have loved this talk, Christina.
Good. Yeah, I'm so happy that you're starting to really get into it. My God, I've needed a friend who's into this stuff for so long, and I just know nobody, and it's so nice. Well, except for Barbara, but yeah, no, it's so good. I'm really happy that you're into this stuff. It's necessary for human evolution.
Yeah, well, and the really nice thing too is, like, I'm kind of dragging Patrick on this journey a little bit.
Cool.
He, like, attended the meditation today, and
that's awesome.
Has actually been really into it.
Good.
So
yeah,
just fun fact.
Yeah, that's really good.
But if you don't have anything else,
yeah, no, I think we're done for this week. But
yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, give us a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us if you think we've gone too woo-woo this week. Like, I mean, we're going to tell you tough tits, but it's still good to hear. So let us know.
Yeah, I'm curious what your spiritual go-to is. Just leave us a comment and let us know what it is that you've been trying to do, or what you feel guided to that maybe is a little bit hard, even just journaling or something. I'm curious what people feel like they should be doing. But, it's just a bit hard to really get there.
And also, Christina has started doing daily tarot
Mm.
reads on our Instagram. So definitely go check those out,
Hmm.
because they give some really intense guidance. I've really enjoyed listening to them, and, I'm a part of them. Uh, and I'm actually going to be doing weekly outlooks posted
Hmm.
on probably Sundays every week, and just kind of what the week is going to hold.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're interested at all in this stuff, tarot cards are just so cool because you can't go wrong. It's like, even if you, I don't know, it's just like whatever you pick up is just what you should pick up and it's all good.
Yeah, it's great. You just follow your intuition and really hones in on that.
That's the thing. If you don't feel like you have intuition or you can't find it or whatever, that's a perfect way to. Because
Yeah.
the more you do it, it's just practice, right? The better it
Mhm.
gets.
So good.
You. All right. Well, yeah,
All
that was
right.
awesome.
Well, thanks, guys, and have a great week.
Bye. Stay spiritual. Everything is gonna
Bye.
be Y2 okay. Bye.
Bye.